practices in today. Again, another step for us in evaluating and developing our play. The spring is that time, as I've said from day one, is that you're still trying to put your team together, and this is only 12 days of working on that process. That's going to continue through preseason camp and right up to our first game against Temple. So just another another day for us to evaluate and give our kids a chance to compete. We had some scrimmage today. Our focus today was we wanted to make sure that we ran the football today, and that was our emphasis. But again, another step for us in developing the 2013 football team. We've got a lot of things that we've got to get done, but again, from my perspective, we're doing the things necessary to build this team for success in 13. So with that, we'll get to it. The question was.
Brian, can you talk a little bit about what you see from Nick Martin center this spring?
Yeah, I think what we've seen is a steady player who's not. It was really a guy that is not too high or too low. He's got a great temperament, can handle a lot of things that are being thrown at him. I just really like the way his maturity has shown itself. For a young guy that hasn't played, he's shown to be a very mature kid. He's got some work to do, obviously, relative to consistency and snapping, protections, but he's been a very solid guy for us the first time we put him in there.
How different is Everett now from the guy who started bringing in Alabama?
I don't know that you could even put him in the same category from when he started last year to where he is now. Strong command of our offense. I think where we're at with him, Al, more than anything else, is that we have to now begin to pull back a little bit. He wants to do a little bit too much. He knows his toolbox very well. He didn't know anything relative to what he had for tools last year in terms of what he can do with the offense. Now he wants to maybe do a little bit too much, so we're at a totally different point in his development. I think the thing that stands out the most to me, though, is his command. His communication and command and his leadership has been evident as we started spring ball.
Coach, it seems, with losing one of the best tight ends in the country, it seems 3 tight ends will be a big part of the offense at least going into August camp.
3 or 4, and again, it's spring ball. We got guys in the lineup, out of the lineup. We're not going to play on Saturday, so there's no games on Saturday. So we're very careful with guys, and some guys have been in, some guys have been out. The tight ends have been there every day. It's been one of those things where we've been able to use 3 and 4 tight ends. So we're gonna run our offense based upon the guys that we have out there, and that doesn't mean we couldn't be in 5 wide receivers come fall. But right now, we're utilizing our tight ends because they're all healthy and they're all ready to help our offense. So I would not leave today going, wow, they're going to run 2 and 3 tight ends. That's what we have available today. Tomorrow might be something else.
Brian,
Go ahead.
Staying on the tight ends there, Ben Koyak has been shifted out. Are his skill sets kind of like an Eifert as far as him being maybe a flex guy?
Well, I think, I would not put him in a category with Tyler Eifert in terms of his ability to push, vertically and ball skills. But he's certainly a guy that's very capable of running option routes and a lot of the inside combination routes. We never played Eifert where Ben is right now. Tyler did not play that position. He was on the perimeter. So where we have him, we believe that he can help us in that inside slot position. But he's had a really good 3 weeks, and it's good to see him having fun and smiling. He's feeling good about himself, and he's a big, strong kid that we always believed was an outstanding pass catcher. he struggled a little bit with his confidence, and I think you're seeing that confidence come back.
Jared,
Atkinson was up with the first group this week. Is Logan injured, or is he Josh scheduled up there?
Now, there's really no depth chart in the spring. Some guys are a little sore. We may back off their work. And again, it just depends on what day you guys come to practice. You know what I mean? Like, he was getting all the first team. But again, guys are in and out of the lineup, and I wouldn't read. I mean, if the guy's got a cast on or on crutches, they're hurt. Everybody else, there's no game, and we're going to be cautious relative to injuries.
Cody, you and Chris
Did you?
all in town this week for the coaches clinic. Is
Yes.
Pistol offense something you guys?
That's all we're going to do exclusively, all pistol.
I mean, is it something you're considering working in somewhere or no?
Well, it really wasn't for us. We held a clinic here with about 1,000 coaches, and the pistol offense is something that the NFL is using. A lot of schools are using it. And we just thought he would be a great clinician for a lot of people that want to learn about the pistol offense.
CJ had a couple drops, but then had that big touchdown catch. Is it just kind of that's his development at this point?
Yeah, he's just learning. I think he ran, the out cut that he dropped. That's the first time he's ever run an Okie cut. He's been inside. And we moved him outside today. That's the first time he's had to put his foot in the ground and get his head around for a ball because he's been working inside out. So it's just his development coming along. I don't think he needs glasses. I think he'll be able to catch the ball. But, it was pretty evident, that he's going to be a really good player. He just needs a lot more work, and a lot of that's technique. He sticks his right foot in the ground and, his arms are down and he's not ready to catch the football. And those are great things that we can teach him and continue to develop him with.
Ryan, where are you with Jared Grace? Do you feel like you found what you were looking for at middle linebacker, or is there still some?
No, we're very pleased with Jared Grace. We got what we consider two veterans in Fox and Calabrese and Jared Grace. I mean, we got, three really good players that have proven themselves last year, and Jared Grace has proven himself to us this year. Kendall Moore will continue to get work. Joe Schmidt will continue to get work. There's 5 guys right there that we believe can help our football team. But we really like Jared Grace, there's no question. But we also like 2 senior linebackers as well. So again, I would not put one guy and say he's your starter. I think we've got a group of guys there that are going to be able to help us.
Brian, how would you evaluate Shoemate right now, just as a raw athlete, as a hitter, and
Yeah.
also just his understanding of the scheme and what you need a safety to do back there?
I would say that the first comment that I would make is that he is what we thought he was in terms of a tackler. He's a very good tackler, sure tackler. He's physical. He can play the safety position. I think Coach Elliott's done a nice job with the learning curve. That's certainly what this is all going to be about, and picking up the nuances. Matthias has done a very good job in helping him, but I think the entire defense is helping as well. So he's our guy back there, and he's got to continue to learn. The spring has been really good for him. He'll have to continue to take steps forward in the summer.
Ryan, a little off topic, what do you lose with a guy like Tim McDonald? How do you go about replacing that position?
Well, we just rely on reading the internet for all of our evaluations. I think it's the best way to do it, or the newspaper. Tim was obviously a very important part of our staff and our success, and certainly we wish him the best. Being with the Giants, obviously a family decision there, which we're so happy for him. But I think it's like anything else. At the University of Notre Dame, there's going to be some very, very good candidates that we'll have an opportunity to bring on board. So we're excited for Tim. We'll rely on the internet until we get that person in place.
Coach, you said after the Alabama game that you kind of looked at their team as the blueprint for, a national championship caliber. Have you started seeing your guys maybe take it up a level after that game this year?
I don't remember what I said after the game. I think any of my comments were based upon, you know, the way they competed, the way they have competed consistently. This is about being here more than just 1 year. So if there's a blueprint, is that we want to be back here year in and year out. And I think Nick has proven that in the way he's put his program together. And that's the track that we're on, is to build the consistency within the ranks. And you have to do it during this period of time. So those similarities were, if those comments were what you said they were, it would have been based upon looking for that consistency of performance year in and year out.
Coach, with Chuck entering his second year as offensive coordinator, how much more responsibility does he get in terms of game planning or even play calling at this point?
Yeah, no, he gets, you know, he's called all the plays in the spring. My sense is that will continue. That look, the head coach, I've always felt, is responsible for the football, and so those decisions will still be mine. But relative to play calling, Chuck knows what I'm looking for. I have great confidence in his ability to play call, and my expectations are that that's the way it will go in the fall. And again, he had a lot of impact on our offense last year as well, and I have the utmost confidence that we'll continue to grow offensively because we've got a similar philosophy.
How has the kicking game been progressing, specifically with Kyle Brenza
Yeah.
as a punter and having that role also?
It's a good question. You know, we've been indoors so much, really, Lou. So, I mean, we've had Coach Diaco working with him specifically. And not that Coach Diaco is going to turn him into the best punter in the country, but my point is that we're coaching the specifics and the details of the position that we want from him. And we're not just kind of, all right, they're in punt, you just go over there and keep kicking them into the rafters. We're focused on his development, just like we would be for all of our players. But it's really hard to get an evaluation because we've only been out of one time. We've spent a lot of time on punt, our punt coverage, protection, our punt returns, all those areas that are a concern to me. And then this summer is going to be huge for him. You know, he'll certainly probably go out and you know, work with some coaches that are in that profession, that specialty profession. And I would consider that most of the evaluation will take place in preseason camp.
Coach, how do you feel George Atkinson is on this spring?
I think George has done outstanding. You know, he's really turned himself into a guy that we can throw the football to. We were a little concerned last year when he was in there, what kind of ball skills. Now we had a guy like Theo Riddick who we thought was outstanding at that position. I think the biggest jump we've seen from George is the passing game. We still need to consider some other things in the passing game for him that I think he can do. We're going to do that on Monday. And then, you know, continue to run the ball with lower pads. You know, he has a tendency to rise up a little bit. I think we had a goal line play where, you know, I had talked to him about getting down, and he gets that. So all in all, I think it's been a very, very good spring for George.
Other than your kicking game, has not being able to get outside held you back or disappointed what you were able to accomplish?
I would like to get outside just because of the elements and throwing the football and consistency there. It really doesn't affect what you do because we can push long balls in Loftus. You know, sometimes you concern yourself with not being able to vertically push the ball down the field. We've been able to cover that. That's not a concern of mine. I just like to get out in the elements more with the quarterbacks in the passing game, but not to a point where it concerns me.
All right, you've got a couple of practices in the blue gold game left. What's kind of on your checklist to do still left in the spring?
Well, I think it's still about more for the group that we have out there, and you saw all those young kids, is just more practice time. So it's not one thing particular where we have to work blue zone or we've got to work more red zone. We've covered all of those situations and circumstances. I think every day that we get in a practice, we take another step forward, and I don't think there's anything specific that I'm looking for at this point. We've checked all the boxes in terms of the preparation. This is just more meeting time, more opportunity for us to coach and teach our guys.
Anything else?
Great, thank you.